So, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the last session of August month. And so far, in the month of July, we have spoken about restoring our relationship with our mother. And then August, we looked at our relationship with our father. And we want to complete these two important relationships in our life, and the process of restoring them uh, can happen, and we can learn that it has really happened when we are able to separate from our parents in a healthy manner. So today's session is about knowing what are the signs that you are not separated from your parents. That means you are still entangled with them. And what are the signs that you are separated from your parents in a healthy manner? So, first of all, why is it necessary that we separate from our parents? And what does it really mean? So, when we say healthy separation from parents, we do not mean we become disconnected from them, or we become indifferent to our parents. It really means that we are so well connected to our parents that we feel their love, we are able to receive what they have to offer with love, and with that, instead of focusing on them, we are focusing on our own life, where we can consciously choose how we want to live our life instead of blindly following what our parents lived like. That means blindly following, uh, you know, being loyal to them, or wanting to continue what they have done. So we stop doing that and we allow our own life to grow in the way we want. Right, Priya?
Yes.
Do you want to add anything?
Nothing specific. I just read a quote today which kind of explains separation. It said that it is very rightly said that we are individuals because we are individual and unique from each other. And hence, to maintain that individuality is why we need a separation from our parents. So that kind of summed up uh, the the need for separation, or why is it necessary, so that we become our individual person that we are.
So, as an adult, we need to separate because when we are a child, we are dependent on our parents, starting from basic survival needs to many other needs, such that they provide for our education and other mental, emotional, and physical needs. And then, as we grow up and become an adult, if we have received well from them, so when I say we have received, we don't mean to say that they have given enough of what we wanted. But if we have been able to receive whatever they have given with love, then we can start separating, because, as Priya said, as an adult, we start relating with ourselves as an individual. What are my inner inspirations and desires? What I get called for? That can happen, that connect can come, that focus on my life can come when I'm well connected, but I'm separated. That means I'm not entangled with my parents. So, what are the indications of uh, not being separated or being entangled with the parents. So if you think about your parents or any one of them, and then you have strong opinions about what they did good or not good with you or in general in their life, if you have a strong emotional reaction to that, then that is clearly an indication that that part of you is still entangled, because there is an emotion either of hurt, sadness, or anger. So, simply put, there is a reaction to how they have lived their life or what they did for you or did not do for you. Yeah. So, that is one of the indications. If you find yourself uh, in even in your head taking sides about different matters, that maybe about my finances, my father was right, my mother didn't understand much, or about education, or about health, one of them is better than the other one, then that is an indication that you are entangled with them and you are not yet separated, no matter what your age is, like being an adult. Or if you indulge too much into what happens between them, then you are entangled with them. Of course, when we become an adult, our parents become old. And when they are old and they are struggling with one most common issue, which is an health issue, then seeing them in pain, if you want to rescue them, if you want to uh, take them out of their painful either behavioral patterns or habits, then again you are entangled with them and you are not yet safe. I think these all indications are comparatively easy to notice. One very subtle indication when Priya and I were discussing this topic, we realized that at a particular age, we uh, you know, start making peace with whatever way they are. Not exactly out of taking them as they are, but out of resignation, because we think that this is how it is now. So if you say that, you know what, yeah, my father was very strict and I used to feel very bad or fearful of him, but it's okay. Now I have accepted that is not going to change. Or it's okay, I have come a long way. Now I'm old enough. I can't do much about it. Or you say, I'm trying to let go. Or now I have understood and I'm letting go. But if you talk about those instances and you feel any emotional reaction, then that is again an indication that you think you have accepted and you have taken them as they are, that there is an intent. Yeah, so these are some subtle indications and clear indications of knowing if you are separated or if you are not separated.
I, I would like to
Yeah.
add one very subtle indication, which also came up when we were discussing today, is there's a time when a person takes charge of their life and starts making and living the life that they want, which is separation. And we have people who come and say that, for example, my father lived uh, in a scarcity mindset about resources, about money, or had some particular thing that education is not important, for example. But I have created a life where, for me, education is important, or I have created a wealthy life, which is very unlike my father. And hence, I feel I have separated from his values and have created my values. I think the question that I would ask such a person who's sharing is, how do you feel when you talk about it? Because maybe the values that the person has made is a response to how the father or the mother felt or were as people. Now, that is another form of entanglement, which is like I was brought up in this end of the spectrum, but now I'm at this end of the spectrum, the other end. So, that is also an entanglement, which is very subtle. Because in the true sense, it feels as though the person is very different from either of the parents, but the basis on which he has or she has created a life
It could be that, you have created a different life because you are rejecting that part of your parent.
Yes.
My father lived with a scarcity mindset. I don't want to live like him. So you are rejecting, and then you want to create a wealthy life. So that is clear indication of entanglement. It's not just about the situations in your life or a different reality means or a better reality means your relationship is fine. If that is the basis of your wealth creation, you might feel that you are in a good place, and maybe you are in a good place according to your wealth aspect of wealth, but that rejection will show up in some other aspect in you, because ultimately we are nothing but our parents. What they have been, that's what we are made of. Another indication that I remember is posting about some quality in your parent. Because when we do that, we think that we are appreciating that particular attribute so much, but subtly, it's like another side of the coin. We are saying that something else is not that good. And that part subtly we might be rejecting. So, when you have a particular strong opinion about your parents, it is taking you away from the simple fact that because they have given you life, they are the source of your life, and thereby you both have a bond of love. So if they good for me, if they did good for me, then that means I appreciate that part. And another part where they didn't do good or what I expected and demanded, that means they were not loving enough or caring enough. So, though it might sound like so much respect and so much appreciation for your parent, but that positive uh, angle on the surface is an indication that you are actually entangled with your parents. So, when you're listening to all of this, what we expect you to do is make a note of anything that is resonating with you, so that you will know where the entanglement is still there, and probably you will start noticing the impact of that, which was so far which was a normal for you. So that's what we are wanting you to do. Priya, is there anything else in these indications that we are left to share?
nothing that I can think of right away.
Right.
But then,
So then maybe
part of
you
the-
can
yeah.
you can talk about the indications of healthy separation.
Yes. So healthy separation comes from the fact that before going into healthy separation, one aspect that I would want is the transition between being entangled to being separate. So, how does one who is in the journey of healing understand that how that I narrate instances of my past or I speak about my parents without this entanglement? For example, the same example that we took up, that my father had a different value system and I have a different value system. So there could be an entanglement or there could be a healthy separation. Or like Gayatri said, that you boasting about a parent is, kind of having an opinion. So how do I speak about my parents and narrate what happened or talk about instances of the past and differentiate whether it's entanglement or whether it's separation? Now, one of the indications of that is when you are talking about a particular experience of your past, about your parents, or about how you felt around them, if there is an emotional charge to it, then it means there is entanglement. Clearly. Or if you feel that there is a very strong opinion about one parent, even when you're talking, then that means that there is clearly entanglement and this needs to be worked upon. So even when you are speaking to a therapist or sitting with yourself in introspection, you can take these pointers to see whether it is separation or whether it's entanglement in the true sense, because your body will know it. Yeah. Now, coming into the aspects of healthy separation, how does one know that they have had a healthy separation from the parents?
Before that,
yeah.
I want to add one thing to this transition. So, if your therapist tells you that, you need to honor the love and take your parents as they are, and you mentally start saying that, okay, fine, I felt a certain way because my father had different value system, taking the same example. Uh, but now I have understood because my therapist told me. So, I should accept that aspect of my father and I should take him as. This mental thing will not actually create a transition. As a child, when that thing happened, the child felt something. The child was hurt. Unless that hurt is healed, unless that hurt is looked at by you as an adult of today, the transition from the hurt to love cannot happen. So do not force yourself based on this information that, oh, now I understood. This means I'm entangled, so I should let go of this. Yes, mentally, this information is going to give you a ground. But if you find indications of you being entangled with your parents, then as a child, what you felt there, that cannot be overlooked. Without processing the hurt, the love will not get restored. So keep that in mind. Once the hurt or the wound is healed, that's when the natural state between parents and child, that is love, that can naturally be experienced, for which actually child is looking for. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So as much as all of this might sound very similar, that we are saying the same thing, there is a subtle difference and there's a subtle step. And it's not, that's the disclaimer that I wanted to give, is when we talk of separation from parents, it is not a one session thing or a one time thing. It's a journey, it's a process, because there will be many, many, many layers to it. So as time and again we have said in the last 2 months, the journey towards the parents is a process, and hence the separation from them is also a process. So do not beat yourself up saying that why is it that it did not come into my awareness, or why is this not going away? Because that's the way it is. That's the truth of that moment. So the disclaimer is that be patient with yourself when you're working. Be patient with yourself when you're working with your parents, energetically in a session, or even, in the true sense when you're sitting in introspection. That's something that we would like to say. Coming to that, what are the indications of healthy separation? Is it's as simple as, we say if a person has a desire and there is an effort put in that direction, the result will come up. In the same way, if we are in alignment with our soul, with our purpose, with who we are, then whatever action we put in, whatever effort we put in, we'll get the result that is necessary in the real world. As simple as that. If that is not happening for whatever reason, invariably 9 out of 10 times it will go back to entanglement with either the parents or in the generation through the parents. Right, Gayatri?
Yeah.
Would you like to add something here?
Yeah, in the similar manner, when you are focusing on your life, and we said this earlier that healthy separation doesn't mean you are indifferent to your parents or what they go through. But healthy separation means that when you focus on your life, you get the direction to which kind of resource you need, how to use that, and how to put in your effort in that direction and get the result. At the same time, when you see your parents going through their own journey, you do not feel the need to go and rescue them, or you do not want to force them to change their lifestyle. Even if you have a better lifestyle to offer, and they might still want to continue with what feels right to them, you don't find that compulsive need to change their lifestyle at whatever level, physical, emotional, mental. You can be there, you can make it available, you can suggest it, but if they do not take it, and if that makes you sad, instead of fixing them, you look at your own sadness. So, as Priya said, that is a process. So, you will look at your own sadness or your own helplessness, and your focus is coming back to your own self all the time instead of them. That is an indication that you have started separating from them. Yeah, Priya?
So, as simple as that, in the sense that if you have things working for you in the direction of the efforts that you put in, then life is truly sorted, which many times doesn't happen. Another indication of healthy separation, where everything is working in the real world, but emotionally you feel not in place, or you feel empty, or you feel like today we were talking depression, maybe is an indication that there could be entanglement with the parents. So everything is happening right in my outside world, in the material world, but something doesn't feel right inside over here. That could be a serious indication of entanglement with parents. And if that is not there, like you feel emotionally fulfilled and you take charge of your life and you say, I'm feeling this at this moment and I can handle it as an adult of today, then that is an indication that you are in control of your life, your emotion, your mental state, your physical state. So again, that's a work in progress thing, because there will be subtle things which will keep happening. And that can show you different things. Yeah, Gayatri?
Yeah.
I can't think of anything more of for healthy separation or indications where there's healthy separation, because I somehow have a feeling that I cannot say we cannot be, but it's like there's always 1% or 10% scope for more separation, more individuality. And to say that I'm 100% separated from my parents is something which is very ideal, like it's an idealistic thing. So these are indications, and that's the journey.
Yeah. One more thing happens in the family system is that when an individual has separated from the parents in a healthy manner, of course, they move towards their own life. That means they create their own family, right? Like as an individual, they find a partner and then they choose to have children or not have children, but have whatever else with the parent, with the partner, or they create something about their own life goal. So, this new creation that happens, their own family, for them, uh, their focus is more on that than the previous generations or the parents. That means the recent family or the new family takes precedence over the older family. So their focus will be more on their own family unit than their siblings or their parents or their ancestors. So when one individual can be fully present in their family, which they have created, then that is also an indication that they have healthily separated from their parents. And of course, as Priya said, it is a journey, so it can be comparatively more healthy and more focused on their family than the one who's intact. So these are few indications that we have learned so far as in our own journey and as therapists. So please start making some observations and mental or physical note for your own journey so that you know where your work lies. And from there, uh, allow yourself to grow one step at a time. That's it.
Yes.
So, thank you, everyone.